In 2020, a Netflix series called Into the Night was released, and a similar series came out in 2022 as well. Its name is Yakumo's S245. In these, our sun takes on a dangerous form. During its 11-year active cycle, the sun becomes dangerously active, and this releases a massive sunstorm, which wreaks havoc on Earth. During the day, that is, in sunlight, dangerous radiation pours down on Earth, causing people to start dying. Of course, both of these are deadly, but the question is, can a solar storm really destroy the Earth? We'll find out in today's video. The sun is our only star, along with the first ray of the sun. Radiation starts coming to the daytime side of the Earth. In fact, because of this radiation, life is possible on Earth. Plants are able to make their food. The oceans also get their energy from this, and for us humans too, the sun's energy is life-giving. This energy from the sun reaches the Earth in the form of radiation. That means the sun's radiation is necessary for us, but only in a certain amount. And this amount is controlled by our Earth's atmosphere. Our Earth's atmosphere filters the radiation coming from the sun, and it only allows as much radiation to reach the surface as we and the Earth need. But what if this radiation goes out of our control? What if charged solar material suddenly starts moving towards our Earth at thousands of miles per second? What if our Earth gets directly hit by a solar flare? Will this planet be able to save us? The answer is a bit complicated, but all scientists completely agree that Earth's magnetic field and atmosphere protect us from even the most powerful solar outbursts coming from the sun. However, even then, these solar storms can destroy our radars, radio systems, and even the satellites orbiting in space. But when it reaches the Earth's surface, it can't even touch us, and this is only because of our atmosphere. Believe me, we live on the luckiest planet in this universe, Earth, which has an atmosphere that doesn't let any of the dangerous radiations from solar flares reach us. According to Alex Young, Associate Director of the Heliophysics Science Division at National Aeronautics and Space Administration, is Goddard Space Flight Center, in the last 10,000 years, no matter how big the solar events have been, our Earth's atmosphere has never been damaged, nor has Earth become unsafe to live on. However, in 2012, people were quite scared about solar flares, but even then, nothing happened. However, it's not that solar flares have never caused destruction on Earth. The Earth's magnetic field protects us from the devastation caused by solar radiation. But the electromagnetic power of these flares is so strong that it can destroy power grids, internet connections, and other communication devices. This can cause chaos everywhere and even lead to people's deaths because of these reasons. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, space weather experts, and other space agencies consider this a serious threat. That's why the sun and its activities are closely monitored. So what exactly are these solar flares? Solar flares are formed when the sun's magnetic field lines collide with each other or get twisted. This creates an enormous storm the size of a planet, which is released from the surface of the sun in the form of electromagnetic energy. We can see these storms on the sun as cool and dark patches, which we also call sunspots. There is a large spread of magnetic field lines around these sunspots, where they get tangled with each other, sometimes they get twisted, and sometimes they collide with each other, which releases a powerful flash of energy. And along with that, a lot of material, that is, charged particles, are also released from the sun, which we call solar flares. Most of the energy from the flare is released in the form of ultraviolet and X-rays light. Because of this, the gases present in the sun's atmosphere also get heated up to very high temperatures, and that's why a large amount of charged particles are released from the sun's atmosphere into space. We call these coronal mass ejections, or CMEs. If a sunspot blasts a coronal mass ejection toward our Earth, that massive storm, traveling at thousands of miles per second, can reach our planet in 15 hours or sometimes in a few days. Now, whether you have heard about CMEs before or not, it doesn't matter. Because the sun emits these CMEs somewhere every week or even every day, that means for the sun this is a normal process. However, during the 11-year activity cycle, the number of CMEs also increases along with the sun's activity. According to National Aeronautics and Space Administration, most of the CMEs go unnoticed by people. They just pass by this planet because Earth's magnetic field protects us. But very large and energetic CMEs actually compress our planet's magnetic field. Because of this, we see geomagnetic storms on Earth. What happens because of this is that the electromagnetic energy coming from the sun fills our magnetosphere, and the atoms and molecules present in our Earth's atmosphere become electrically charged. Because of this, something happens that we can see all over the world. Because of such storms, we see the auroras borealis near the Earth's North Pole, but due to a very big one, they will also become visible at the equator. If such a big solar storm hits our Earth, the entire world's radio and radar systems will go completely blacked out. Electrical grids will get overloaded due to power surge, which can also cause blackouts in power grids. Even if that doesn't happen, long power cuts will become a common thing. Some experts are even afraid that a major coronal mass ejection storm could cause an internet collapse on Earth. Our undersea internet cables could also get overloaded, and if that happens, our world will come to a complete halt without the internet. Although this has never happened before, the possibility cannot be ruled out. And if that happens, the internet could disappear from the entire world for weeks or even months. Our space stations and satellites will also not be able to withstand the impact of CME's radiation. Because they don't get the protection of Earth's atmosphere and are completely exposed to the harsh environment of space. The most powerful geomagnetic storm ever recorded in Earth's history was documented in 1869, known as the Carrington event. However, this most powerful geomagnetic storm did not have any significant impact on life flourishing on Earth or on human health. Even if a bigger one than this has occurred in Earth's history, we have not found any evidence so far that it had any effect on human life. That means one thing is clear: no matter how strong a solar storm is, life on Earth will continue as it is. We don't know how big that solar flare would have to be to have the power to wipe out life on Earth, but such a thing has never happened in history. Or it could also be that no solar flare can ever wipe out life from Earth. But there is another enemy that can wipe out life from Earth in the blink of an eye. And this has actually happened once in history, and that danger is the stars present around us. When a star uses up all its fuel and reaches the end of its life, it explodes as a massive supernova. Because of this, a very powerful radiation spreads across space for millions of light years. These blasts are much more powerful than any solar flare. The ultraviolet radiation emitted from these will destroy the ozone layer of our Earth. And as soon as this protective ozone layer is gone, the Earth will be filled with charged particles and radiation. Hardly any life will survive on Earth. In a recent study, researchers claimed that during the late Devonian period of the Earth, around 416 million to 358 million years ago, a star about 64 light years away from Earth died millions of years ago. That star exploded in a supernova. Because of this, a mass extinction occurred here on Earth, which wiped out about 70% of the invertebrates living on the planet. However, scientists are not certain about how exactly this mass extinction was triggered. What were the factors that started this mass extinction? Although during the time of that mass extinction, studies of the skeletons revealed that their fossils were found to be damaged due to ultraviolet radiation, which can only happen because of an exploding star or a supernova, but fortunately, there is no such supernova candidate present near our Earth, which could become a threat to us in the near future. Only our small star, the Sun, is there, which for now cannot become a supernova. And as for the solar storms coming from it, our Earth's atmosphere is enough to handle them. If you have seen the movie 2012 or any other movie related to the destruction of the Earth, then you must know how our Earth could come to an end. Of course, in every movie, we humans try to stop that disaster, and maybe some people even survive by the end of the movie. There are a lot of such news reports, and you can even find many YouTube videos about it, where it is explained what are the ways in which our Earth could be destroyed, like Nibiru and Planet X, the Mayan calendar, and many such ancient prophecies, the Great Flood, unstoppable fire, religious prophecies, volcanoes, tsunamis, and disasters coming from space. Some of these claims are made on a scientific basis, while some are completely different, which cannot be verified nor can they be predicted in advance. In today's modern era, we cannot live in illusions. For entertainment, we can imagine Nibiru and Planet X. Today, we know about incidents of asteroids colliding with Earth. Let's go with the possibilities. Today, we won't consider possibilities and will look at something that no one can stop from happening, and what will be the ultimate fate of humanity and this Earth. Yes, this is not a prophecy, this is an inevitable event that cannot be avoided. We know that today, there are about 7.8 billion humans on this earth, but it wasn't always like this. Our history is not that old. Modern humans have only been on this earth for about 300,000 to 400,000 years. But the great apes used to be here a few million years ago, and before them, there were some species that evolved and became the great apes. The timeline of evolution in history can go back 50 to 60 million years, but if we go back in time, we might be surprised to see that humans gradually evolved from some such creatures. Of course, here we realize that evolution is a very slow process where we won't be able to notice much on a single human time scale, but on a large time scale of millions of years, evolution is inevitable. Evolution cannot stop. Like, over the period of time, the conditions on our Earth kept changing. The pressure to survive on the species living here also kept changing in the same way. Those who endured that pressure kept moving forward, and those who couldn't endure it gave an opportunity for other species to progress. And in the meantime, some random genetic mutations also kept occurring in living beings. Some mutations helped living beings adapt to the changing environment, and the genes passed those traits on to future generations. And in this way, we have reached today's If we talk about millions of years from now, of course, we humans will still be here on Earth, but no one would have been able to stop evolution. We are talking about the future millions of years from now, where there will definitely be humans, but maybe not everyone will be human. Maybe some other species will be ruling this earth, and there are more chances that it will be an advanced version of us humans. But even at that time, humans and that species will be facing the ultimate pressure from nature. Because of the planet's changing climate and limited resources, and due to other species and humans, there will be world wars, nuclear, chemical, and biological. Because of murderers, new diseases, and natural disasters, they will also face the pressure to survive. Mutations will keep happening, and eventually, for one reason or another, the end will come. It won't even matter how many people survive the diseases. Humans will disappear from this world. On a geological and astronomical timescale, if not today, then tomorrow, human existence will end. And that will be the first step towards the end of this world for us, which will begin with our own extinction. Apart from this, the humans who will be living on other planets or who have already migrated from Earth, they might never want to return to this planet, because what is going to happen next will be even more terrifying. By the way, for those humans who have left Earth and gone somewhere else, will evolution leave them alone there? This question is for you. Anyway, if we come back to Earth, in today's time, it feels like our good fortune that our planet, our Earth, is exactly the right size and mass, where an atmosphere is possible. It is at just the right distance from the sun. Our planet is formed by combining countless combinations of such parameters, where the water flowing on the ground becomes the source for life to flourish. And if even one of these properties changes slightly, all the equations of life here will completely change. The diversity and variety we see in life on Earth today would not exist at all. Billions of years ago, the Earth was completely surrounded by oceans. It's like an oceanic world, where first simple and then complex life began. Life on land came millions of years after that. But during this time, evolution didn't just happen to us. The sun, sitting at the center of our solar system, is also a product of evolution, and it will be the first to take away the oceans from this Earth over the period of time. As the sun gradually converts the hydrogen inside it into helium through nuclear fusion, the sun will become even hotter and will start to expand. It will become even brighter and will begin to release even more energy. About 1 to 2 billion years from now, the energy released by the sun will be so much that the oceans will start to boil. Will subscribe. Years, and the result will be a global greenhouse effect, which will engulf the entire Earth. The Earth's temperature will start rising dangerously, and at that time, our planet will also become a hell like Venus. Conditions on Earth will become inhospitable for life. Almost all species living on the surface will be wiped out, and only those organisms that can survive above the clouds will remain. And in this way, nature will decide the future direction of life on Earth. But humans will already have been wiped out or will have left the Earth. Even then, nature will become even more ruthless for the Earth, and the next phase will be even more dangerous. You might be thinking that the oceans boiling and turning into steam was really bad, but what do you think about this? That everything present on Earth will break apart and even its atoms will disappear from this world. Everything that ever existed on this surface will turn to ash. Every trace of everything will be lost in the dust. The conditions here will become like those on Mercury, the first planet of our solar system. Something like this will happen to the Earth in the next 5 to 7 billion years. When the hydrogen fuel in the core of the sun is completely exhausted, then the great destruction will begin. Its core will keep contracting and getting hotter due to helium and heavy metals, which will cause the outer layers of the sun to start expanding. As soon as the sun expands, its outer layers will keep getting cooler. But on the contrary, the sun will become even more luminous. As its core gets hotter and contracts further, helium fusion will begin there, and our sun will change from a main sequence star to a subgiant, and then from a subgiant to a full-fledged helium-burning red giant. Our Earth will also feel the pressure of its existence, but it won't be able to withstand that much pressure. Our sun will become about 100 times bigger than it is today, and its brightness will increase thousands of times compared to now. The Earth will be completely devastated and it will slowly start moving away from its orbit. The nearby planets Mercury and Venus would have already been swallowed by the sun. However, this phase of burning helium will last for a very long time, millions, billions, even up to billions of years, and eventually the sun will also run out of helium. And when that happens, its core will contract and get even hotter, and then there will be no additional fusion reactions. The sun will soon die. With a big explosion, its core will turn into a white dwarf, and its layers and outer surface will explode into space. This will create a planetary nebula. Even if the red giant doesn't swallow the Earth during this phase, there will still be no chance for Earth to survive. And if it does swallow it, the story will end right there. And if not, it will keep orbiting in a solar system that has become a graveyard, revolving around a dim, small star. But even then, this is not the end of the story. Swallowed and rejected, now go ahead. Humans on Earth disappeared long ago, or left, or the Earth was no longer suitable for living. After that, the most precious thing here, water, was attacked. Its oceans dried up, they boiled and turned into steam. After that, everything turned to ash. And finally, for billions of years, Earth will keep revolving in this solar system as a graveyard. Cosmic rays will keep raining down on Earth for quadrillions of years, but even then, our Earth will continue to exist like a corpse. Around a cold dead star in this darkness-filled space, this scene will continue until a collision with some object destroys our Earth, or it gets absorbed and its existence is erased. This universe is truly a terrifying place where violent things keep happening, and maybe that's just the law of the universe. An ejection object will pass close to our Earth and gravitationally throw the Earth out of this solar system. And the Earth will keep wandering like an uncontrollable planet in this infinite universe for eternity. Slow death means the Earth will remain in this solar system where there will be neither sunlight nor warmth. It will orbit that dwarf star countless times, and in the end, after billions and trillions of years, it will merge into it. And this is how the story of Earth will end. This world will inevitably come to an end one day, the place where we live, which we call Earth. If creation is a fact, then destruction is the ultimate fact, and here we are not making any speculations. We're not making any wild guesses with our eyes closed. Rather, this is a conclusion drawn from our current scientific understanding and scientific achievements. On an astronomical scale, we know the future of the Earth, but the near future is in our hands, within our reach. It is our choice as a species, what we are doing, what we are becoming, and what we should do. Science can show us the future, but how do we secure that future? How do we live it with freedom and self-respect? That is something we have to decide, so that we can represent ourselves as humans in this universe in a good, better, and long-lasting way. Imagine a celestial body that is very large, very powerful, and from 93 million miles away, it controls life on a planet in every way. And now imagine that the body responsible for life on a planet is also hiding very deep mysteries. Mysteries that even scientists cannot fully explain. Yes, I am talking about our sun. We think we know the sun, but do we really know it? What if I told you that at the core of the sun, there are forces brewing that could destroy all of human civilization in the blink of an eye? The familiar warmth we feel every day. We haven't even begun to understand or feel the devastation it could cause. From the strange sunspots visible on its surface to the dangerous solar storms. The sun is not just a life-giving deity as we think. It is also a ticking time bomb that could explode with unimaginable force at any moment. From ancient civilizations that worship the sun as a god, to today's modern science that considers it the engine of life, we know that the sun is a massive ball of gas and plasma, but if we look at it on a broad scale, life truly isn't possible without the sun, and humanity has always known that the sun is essential for us. Yet, that same sun is also one of the most dangerous forces in our solar system. Beyond its warmth and familiar light, it is an uncontrollable cosmic nuclear furnace that is constantly leading us toward a major event. We take the sun for granted, as if it's just something massive lighting up the planets in this endless universe, keeping them warm and sustaining life on those planets. If we go deep into the sun, we'll find that the gravity there is so intense that even hydrogen atoms collide and fuse together. Through this process of nuclear fusion, the entire sun is able to release an immense amount of heat, and that's how the surface temperature of the sun reaches up to 5,500 degrees Celsius. But the real terror is hidden in its core, where the temperature goes up to 15 million degrees Celsius. 15 million degrees Celsius. This is beyond our imagination. The sun's immense energy doesn't just give us light, it also creates storms on the sun where there are massive ejections of magnetic fields and charged particles. Even though solar flares and solar mass ejections may not seem that dangerous to us, they have enough power to destroy our modern technology in an instant. A single solar storm could push us into a global blackout. To be honest, we are literally living at the mercy of a star that could could change its course at any moment. And the scariest thing is that it neither knows us nor is it compassionate. So let's look at a dangerous example of the sun's power, a solar storm. In 1869, a massive solar storm was released from the sun, which we now know as the Carrington event. This solar storm was so intense that the telegraph system of that time broke down, equipment caught fire, and operators working on those systems and equipment received strong electric shocks. If such a storm were to hit the Earth today, then destruction is certain. Our modern world is highly dependent on technology. The result would be that the internet, global positioning system power grids, and satellites would fry within moments. These are the main resources where its impact would be most visible. Apart from this, people traveling by sea and air would get stranded in the middle of their journeys. Even in our bodies, there are some devices that can conduct electricity, so in such a situation, the risk to human life and property would increase significantly. A large amount of magnetic energy is released from the sun's atmosphere, and this explosion is called a solar storm. These solar storms can release highly charged particles into space in any direction. And when they come toward the Earth, they travel at hundreds of thousands of miles per hour toward our planet. When these storms hit the Earth, they interact with its magnetic field, which is why we see beautiful auroras in the sky. But behind this beauty are these terrifying solar storms, which can destroy everything in a single moment. The scariest thing about them is that we can't see them coming. Solar storms erupt without any warning. One moment the sun is completely calm, and the next moment it can send this invisible, dangerous radiation toward us. The Carrington event was a warning for us, but we have come a long way since then by learning from that event. For decades, space agencies and scientists have been constantly monitoring the sun for such solar storms so that we can take precautions in time. So the question is not whether the next solar storm will hit us, but the real question is when. This uncertainty always keeps us afraid. The sun has another dark side, sunspots. When we look up at the sky and see the sun, we see its blinding, dazzling light. But it doesn't always shine like this. Sometimes we can see dark spots on its surface, which are called sunspots. These are cooler regions on the sun's surface where the sun's magnetic fields are twisted and tangled together. We have been observing sunspots for centuries, but the reason for their formation has always remained a mystery. However, what we do know about them is that wherever sunspots appear, destruction follows. Sunspots are connected to the activity of our sun. Sunspots are also the root cause of many intense solar storms. These dark spots indicate some terrifying processes happening inside the sun, which we still do not fully understand. But why do they form, and why do these sunspots trigger solar flares and coronal mass ejections? These questions still puzzle scientists. What we do know is that sunspot activity increases and decreases in cycles. When the sun is most active, more sunspots are seen, and the more sunspots there are, the higher the chances of solar flares. That's why during the sun's 11-year activity cycle, we see more solar flares and increased solar activity. So the next time you see a picture of a sunspot, remember that these are not just spots on a shining star. They represent the sun's dark side, which is the most dangerous. And we must also remember that we live peacefully under the shelter of a star that is anything but peaceful itself. But sunspots are not the only danger coming from the sun. The sun has another dark side, solar flares. Solar flares are the sun's way of releasing suppressed energy, and when these flares erupt, the energy released is even greater than that of millions of atomic bombs. These flares release radiation and charged particles in every direction from the sun, and sometimes they head straight toward our Earth. When a powerful solar flare hits our planet, its effects can bring our entire world to a halt. Global blackouts, disappearance of global positioning system signals, malfunctioning satellites, power grid failures, and a complete shutdown of the internet, economy, and ecosystem. Just one flare can disrupt everything: the banking system, aviation industry, and all other sectors that depend on the internet could suddenly come to a stop. This reminds us that the same sun that makes life possible on our Earth can also force our world to come to a standstill. But solar flares are not the only mystery of our sun. As we advance in technology, our understanding keeps growing, but there is still so much about the sun that we don't know. For example, the sun's corona, its outermost layer. The mystery about the corona is that its temperature is much higher than the surface of the sun. How is this even possible? The surface of the sun, which is about 5,500 degrees Celsius, how can the corona, which is hundreds of kilometers away from the surface, have a temperature of millions of degrees Celsius? Another mystery is what force is driving the solar cycles. Every 11 years, the sun's magnetic poles flip, which increases solar activity. But scientists have not been able to find out the driving force behind this. After all, which mechanism is triggering this process? This question is not just an interesting scientific puzzle. This is cosmic horror that gives us a glimpse of those mysteries in this universe that are beyond human understanding. And this shows us how much we actually understand this infinite universe and where we really stand. The sun is our closest star, but this universe is infinite. And such mysteries make this universe the supreme leader. Because in this universe, everything follows the rules set by the universe itself. And maybe it's better if some mysteries remain hidden forever. If someone learns every secret of the universe, they will become the supreme leader, and they will want to run the universe according to their own rules, and maybe none of us would want that. So friends, what are your thoughts about the mysteries of Suraj above? Do let us know in the comment section. If you like this video, be sure to like it and share it with your friends. For more informative videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and enable the bell notification. Friends, we will meet again soon with another new informative video like this. Till then, stay curious, be happy, and namaskar.